Cocktails and questions. Today we're doing a peanut butter Putin. So we're doing a peanut butter white Russian. We're going to start with 1.5 ounces of Skrewball peanut butter whiskey. Then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of coffee liqueur. I use Kahlua. Boom. 1/2 ounce of vodka. Then we're going to do a full ounce of cream of coconut. It'll be good. We'll shake it all up. And then we're doing a full ounce of heavy cream. We're going to add ice. And hopefully you have a shaker at home. Then I'm going to strain this in just because it's a smaller cocktail glass. Boom. The peanut butter Putin. Cheers.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, what up, guys? It's Chad on episode 4 of Cocktails and Questions. This is Scrap. Mr. Scrap. All right, let's get to it. We're starting with Walmart, I believe was the first chart. I already have the 4-hour up. Walmart actually looks pretty decent above this 116.50 level, which is about where we closed. Through that, that's kind of a pivot for the last, since actually September. So through this, my upside target 117.61 and then 118.68 on that. If we reject this 116.50, then we look down to 114.50 and then 112.63 is what I'm seeing on Walmart. Next up, we have Qualcomm. Oh, landed at support nicely. Let me get these lines drawn. There first, then, oh, there's a mad pivot right here. As you guys can see, this congestion area right there, about where we closed. Let me draw that line. Right about there. So the pivot on Qualcomm is going to be 87.92 for me. That's the pivot, and I actually wouldn't even take long from there because it goes to what, 89.67? Because this congestion, for me, upside trigger on Qualcomm will be 89.67. And if we get through that, then we target 91.75. But yeah, no. So actually, no, let me change these colors so you guys can see it. I'll turn this to white. This will be my pivot channel on Qualcomm. Pivot channel is 89.67. Upside, downside 87.90. This channel right here is what I'm looking at. And if we reject here, first target on downside 86.38. And then down here to this little tiny gap at 84.18. I'll draw the line there. So with Qualcomm, I won't touch anything in this channel right there. Too much congestion there. So yeah, my triggers 89.67 upside, target 91.75, then 93.92. If we reject, downside targets are 87.90, 86.38, and then 84.12. Qualcomm, OKTA. I definitely have never charted this. Are we at all-time highs? No. Oh, that actually looks pretty nice for more upside. Let me draw these lines and I'll get the price points on there. Boom. That actually looks really nice. And it's a beautiful cup and handle. Upside target there. Then what do we need to hold? There, and then downside would be there. All right. All right, now let me zoom back in. Come on. All right. So obviously we have this nice cup and handle here on this. The level that needs to be broke is already broken. My level is 132.88. We closed at 132.94. And that's just to break this cup and handle. An immediate target after 132.88 is 137.15. 137.15 is the target. Through whoever requested this chart, I like it a lot to play like February calls on this. So 137.15 is the first long target. If we reject this 132.88, we likely test 128.98 and then 125.74. So literally just watch the pivot. 132.88 is the level I'm watching. Through that, we look to 137. If we reject, then we look down to 128. That's what I'm looking at on OKTA, Facebook. Facebook's been getting wrecked, hasn't it? Look at these gaps. Okay, but at least it's at good levels. Perfect. Perfect. Let me draw these out right quick. Obviously the gap way up there, but Facebook actually looks like it can rebound. The level to watch on Facebook, 209.78. Basically where we close. Yeah, we closed at 209.53. This level right here, where we close, that's where we're watching. If we get through that, then we definitely target 214.91. Up to this level, up to this resistance here where we flagged. And if we reject this 209.78, then we look down to test 204.22-ish. So yeah, Facebook pivot, 209.78. Through that, my target, 214.91. If we reject, then a test of 204 is likely. But I actually really like this chart. Yeah, and it's probably going to gap tomorrow. Yeah, I think we see 214.91 pretty quick on Facebook. SHAK. SHAK. Good trader. Oh, I haven't drawn lines in a bit. Let me delete this. Draw another one. All right, perfect. On SHAK, I will, let me change this to white. SHAK, I have a trigger channel where I won't trade between. That channel is 68.70. No, that's not right. Well, 68.91. So yeah, around 69, above 69, I like SHAK long. Below 66.30, I like it short. Between 66.30 and 69, I won't trade SHAK. But if we do break that 69 level, I look upside to about 72. And if we lose 66.30, then we still look to this gap fill from the 14th of January. Yeah, 14th of January down in the 64s. So the channel on SHAK for me, upside trigger 68.91, downside trigger 66.36. Upside target 72, downside target 1, 64, then down at 62.50. NTNX. I definitely have never charted that. Let's zoom it out. Everything's closing right where I would put a pivot. It's actually kind of convenient. Put the pivot there. Obviously, downside target would be here. We're literally closing right at pivots. No, up more. Yeah, I got it. All right, so NTNX. From the chart I'm looking at, this 244 hour, the pivot I would trade off of, 33.09, around the 33 point. We closed higher than that. Upside target, 35.23. And again, this is a 4 hour. I wouldn't trade this like tomorrow. I wouldn't trade this on a weekly. I would trade this on like February monthlies because we are through it. Yeah, 33 pivot, 35.20 target upside. If we reject this, then we likely visit this down here at 30.60. So the pivot to watch on NTNX, 33. That handle right there. Next up, ROKU. Oh, I haven't charted this in a while. It's kind of just been a slow downtrend, hasn't it? Yep. And again, it closed right where I put a pivot. Nice pivot there. Actually, maybe a pivot channel. What price is that now? Pivot there. The pivot on ROKU, 130.33 is what I'm watching. For that pivot, and oh Lord, that could be bad. One more. All right, so pivot on ROKU, 130.33, upside target, 137.89. But if we reject this 130.33 like we have many a time, the first target is 126, and if we lose that, we get all the way down to this back in November at 118. And we have this, obviously, this trend line. This will be something to watch on this 4 hour. I'll draw, I don't normally do this, but I'll do it. From here to there, which obviously if we get through this 130 pivot, my target is long to 137, but up into this trend line, that is probably a retracement. So if we get through this, I actually might look long on this tomorrow through 130.33, which we're already through. I might look long to test this trend and then probably pull back from there, back to the pivot at 130. KDP. Ooh, Dr. Pepper. And sure, even Dr. Pepper or what? God, I'm out of the loop. Let me draw this because this is actually pretty close. Right there and then bottom. This will have a channel for me. Nope, not right there, right there. This actually is a very pretty chart. Obviously, you see all this congestion here, so I won't trade between 28.51 and 29. Through that, I'm not trading anything, but if we get through the 29 level, it looks nice up to 30, yeah, about 30 bucks. Through the 29 level, I like it there. And if we come out and we lose 28.50, we likely test this area of congestion right around here, which is what, 27.50? Yeah. So this is basically a dollar move, what I'm looking at here. But this channel of KDP above 29, I like it long. Below 28.50, I like it short. Target upside 30, target downside 27.65. What's next? Microsoft. It's at all-time highs. I'm not charting Microsoft. The only thing I can say is if we lose 171, then I likely short into the gap down to 168. That's all I'm gonna say on Microsoft. It's at all-time highs. I'm not gonna fit it and give you upside targets. If we lose 171, we likely visit 168. That's my view on Microsoft. AMT. This is kind of in a tight, yeah, it's been in pretty tight range. This also is right where I'd put a pivot. Funny how that works. Reason I'm putting the pivot there, look at this congestion here, this wick, this candle closed, that candle open, this candle closed. So my pivot on AMT, American Tower Co, 235. 235 is my pivot. If we start to separate from 235, like if we break through and we go upside, my target is 238.40. If we reject this 235, I would look to test. Obviously, it's funny how this works. Look at that candle. Look at this candle. Identical. Identical. So my pivot on AMT, 235. If we break through and we start separating, I would look long to target 238.42. And if we reject, I would look short to target 232.30. And if we lose that 232.30, next support is 230. That's AMT. NWL. There's so many tickers I've never even heard of. NWL. Where's, oh, this is near all time. Oh, this is a tiny. Is this even optionable? Like, I mean, I'll chart this, but it's not something I would trade. This is a 50-cent range. I'll chart a pivot for whoever requested this. My pivot on NWL would be 1980. That's pivot, and obviously it's easy to see targets. Top side, downside. Pivot 1980, and we closed at 20. And then top side target 2039, 2040. And then if we come back below 1980, first target 1945, and then down around 1911. That's NWL. LB. Is this at all-time highs too? I can't really, oh no, okay. I can't chart it, even though we gapped up. All right. Next level resistance on LB, since we're up there, is right, no, God damn it. Right there, right around 2391. First level of resistance, and big support on that will be 2263. So I wouldn't trade this LB unless you're already in. I wouldn't trade until we get out of this channel of 2391 and downside 2263. If we break the 2391 upside, first target will be 2559, and obviously downside target will be this gap down at 2050-ish. Yeah, it's a nice try. I wouldn't trade this with this congestion. I would wait for a 20 or a 24 break to the upside or a 2250 break to the downside. Then I would look to actually make an actionable trade on this. And if we break that 24 upside target 2560, if we lose 2260, then we look down to 2076. AMAT. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I'd put this. All right. Support, downside trigger will be there. Upside trigger right here. All right, AMAT. So the downside trigger, obviously we're above it now. What is that? 5975 would be my downside trigger on AMAT. And then first target clearly here down at just the 59 level. And if we lose that down here with this congestion and all of this down at, what is that, 50? Yeah, 5650, right around there. And if we get through the 60-80 level, first upside target, obviously where this gap is, which it looks like it already filled, but that's around 61.96, 97, somewhere around there. Come on. And then if we get through that, we're looking at, where's that? 63 to 63.75. It looks like, yeah, 63.73. So on AMAT, my triggers are 60.86 for upside and 59.75 for downside. But the downside is there's a lot of support here. So the very first target would be 59. If we lose that, then we look to bigger downside down to the mid 56s. And if we get through 60.86 on upside, first like point of trouble will be the 62 level. And if we get through that, then we look up to the mid 63s. What is that? 63.73. And like my personal opinion, I would not be trading. I actually probably wouldn't even trade this till the 62 broke. There's too much congestion here. Like for the long side, I wouldn't trade this unless 62 broke. Downside, I wouldn't trade unless 59 broke. That's what I would personally do. But hey, happy Thursday. Talk to us some questions.